I've never seen a government program that can actually lift people out of poverty. I know that there are some people who are kept from falling over the edge from some government programs, so that's good. But I don't see people rising up from extremely poor to middle class or upper middle class from government programs. And likewise, I have never seen unfettered capitalism lift people out of extreme poverty into the middle class or the upper middle class either, without a distinct element of luck or nepotism. I think we all know somebody, maybe it's you, who works hard, does everything right, comes early, stays late, and just can't catch a break. And that's, that happens. We don't really live in a pure meritocracy within our economy. I have found that the only thing that will bring a poor person into the middle class every time is a union. And I'll share with you my story as an example. I didn't come from a working class background. Both of my parents had advanced degrees. When I was very young, we struggled. But as I've got a little older, we became certainly what anybody would call middle class. And then by the time I was in middle school, I think any onlooker would have referred to my family as upper middle class. And I actually had an idyllic childhood. Went to great schools, and my understanding of the implication behind everything I was ever told about my future was, if you work hard, if you get good grades in school, if you go to church every Sunday, you hold the door open for old ladies, you say yes sir, yes ma'am, life will just fall into place for you. That was the way I understood it coming out of high school. So I went to college. I went to VCU when I was 18 because that's simply what one does after high school. That was my understanding of things, and I was very lucky. I'm eternally grateful that I immediately fell in with a group of older people when I moved to Richmond. So I was friends with some people that had just graduated VCU right off the bat, and sophomores, juniors, seniors. So I was immediately seeing the outcomes from graduating college, and every semester I would see another friend graduate and see what they went through. And I was seeing people happy, pleased as punch to get a job flipping burgers at Galaxy or pouring beers at Mojo's. And it didn't take long. It was that first semester where I started asking myself the question, what am I doing here? I can go get a job flipping burgers at Galaxy or pouring beers at Mojo's without a bachelor's degree, and I won't be $50,000 in debt. That's all it cost back then, was $50,000. So it took a while. I went a semester, and then I got good grades, and then I would go the spring semester and withdraw before the ad drop date, and I did that a couple times, and finally it stuck, and I bounced around, and I was waiting for this life to fall into place thing that I was always under the impression would happen, and it didn't. I eventually found myself working at a phone room, and it was a very enjoyable job. I loved it. I met a lot of great friends there, met my wife there, and I became a supervisor. And I was told at the time, they pulled me aside and told me, Walt, there's no higher place to go here. You're at the top. and I was making $14 an hour. No health insurance, no retirement. And I was young. I mean, I was like 22, 23, and that was okay at the time. And there came a time when I started seeing people come into the phone room, and they were older. Some of them were in their 40s, some of them were in their 50s, and they were working, and I was their boss. And these were pleasant people. They were, well put together, smart, articulate. Many of them had bachelor's degrees. Some of them had master's degrees. And I was their boss, and they were making $7 to $9 an hour. And that's when it really dawned on me. You've got to do something. I mean, nothing's just going to fall in your lap. You've got to make a change. I was under the impression that a union could offer me something better, and that interestingly comes from music. That was from the folk music my dad listened to, and some of the punk bands I listened to. They talked about unions and how unions were good. So I literally Googled union apprenticeship, Richmond, Virginia, and while at the phone room one day, and what came up was rjatc.org, the website to our apprenticeship, and the rest is history. I could have been a baker. I could have been a pipe fitter. I could have been a printer. I had no particular interest in electrical work. I just wanted to get involved with the union because I wanted health insurance, and I wanted retirement, and I wanted to make a decent wage that could sustain a family. Even though I didn't have a family at that point, I knew I wanted one. So now I'm doing well. I went through the apprenticeship. I'm not rich, but I'm very comfortable. We're able to. My wife and I have decided that what's best for our family is that my wife stay at home with the children. So we're able to do that. That's a rarity in today's economy. We have a nice house that we really like in a great neighborhood. We love the schools our kids go to, and basically we don't want for anything. And that's all because of IBEW Local 666. There's no doubt about it. They're the ones who took a chance on me. They're the ones who offered me training when no one else would, when I had no experience. And they've given me the career I have now. So I have friends who made the same choice I made, went through IBEW Local 666, and they're making, some of them, traveling, $250,000 a year. They're putting $50,000 a year in their retirement. That's more than a lot of people make just in their paycheck. They're putting in their retirement. I got friends who stay right here in Richmond in IBEW Local 666 who are making $120,000, $130,000 a year. Now they're working a lot of overtime. Don't get me wrong, but they're doing very well, and that is due to our collective bargaining power. And that's it. They could be doing the same job, for one of these non-union contractors around town, and be lucky to be making $80,000 a year. Not that $80,000 a year is a bad living, but they're working the same amount of time and almost doubling that. Plus, they're putting huge amounts in their retirement. $24,000 roughly if you're working those kind of hours in their defined contribution retirement account a year. And then I have other friends who are still flipping burgers and pouring beers today. It all comes down to the choices you make. If you're out there flipping burgers or pouring beers, you're not too old, no matter how old you are, to apply to our apprenticeship. If you're out there working your fingers to the bone for one of these non-union electrical contractors, and you've been doing it for 4 years, you can come take our journeyman's test. If you pass the test, you're a journeyman. How you do in our economy is simply down to the decisions you make. You are invited right now. I'm inviting you to IBEW Local 666 to join our ranks. If you live and work in the Richmond area, if you're doing electrical work in the Richmond area, we want you to join us. And we will offer you a better life. I promise you. If you're ready to make the move, please contact me today. You can message me, you can comment under this video, you can call me, text me, 804-614-6147. You can come to the Union Hall, 1400 East 9 Mile Road. Get in touch with me, and we will start you down the path of living a better life.